guys, welcome to the program. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. On YouTube, you may see a different thumbnail at the beginning of this because I can test thumbnails, which is kind of fun. But the brainwashing of modern women has worked. There was a new NBC News Decision poll desk poll that came out that asked Gen Z, what is most important to you considering yourself having a successful life? And conservative men overwhelmingly said, I want children. I want to be married. I want a family. And of course, most women being left decided the last place is having children and being married. So when they talk about collapse of the West, when they talk about all the other issues we have with population, why we need to bring in the immigrants and everything else, it directly boils down to women. It's not men saying no to marriage, even though they should be, in my personal opinion, because of the laws. It's not men saying no to having children. It's the women. So the indoctrination and everything they've been pushing in school and in media and social media and everything else has worked. And the next generation of women are cooking modern society. Guys, before we get into the main story, today's sponsor is me. Don't forget to join us over on betterbachelor.locals.com. Great community of like-minded men. We have special events that we do on the weekends, such as movie night, watching movies. We do UFC events. We watch football together. We do one-off live streams and other shows. And it puts us behind a paywall, so you don't have bots. You don't have lunatics. Well, a couple lunatics, but they're our lunatics. We have a great time over there, so join a bunch of other like-minded men in a community designed for us that faces and talks about our specific issues. It gives us a very nice community where I'm the only moderator. Come on over, check it out today. I think you'll like it. And now back to me. This comes from a Steve Korniak. He is the chief data analyst for NBC News, and he came out with this poll. NBC News Decision Desk poll asked Gen Z adults 18 to 29 what they considered important to a successful life. The combination of gender and politics produced two very different sets of priorities. Now I have these zoomed in a little bit. And, you know, while it is a little bit better for, the numbers are a little bit better for conservative women, not much, if I'm just to be honest with you. So men who voted for Trump, which doesn't necessarily mean they're conservative, it also includes some independents. Number one, most important for a definition of success, having children, 34%. Number two, financial independence, 33%. Fulfilling job career, 30%. Being married, 29%. Having money to do things you want, 28%. So you can see, for the most part, it's having kids, being married, having a fulfilling career and job, and financial independence, which is a good way to support a family and to, you know, enjoy things that you'd like to do as well. Going down the list, owning your own home, being grounded spiritually. I think that's meaningful. 1 in 4 men said that's very important. Making family and community proud, 23%. Now, women who voted for Harris, which is 65% of most women. Fulfilling job and career, 51%. It's about the money. It's about the work. It's not about family or community. Having money to do things you want, 46%. Having emotional stability, 39%. That's not working out so well for them. Using talents and resources to help others, 37%. Financial independence, 32%. So everything that is 30% and above for the women is mostly about themselves. Having no debt, 21%. Owning a home, 20%. Making family community proud, 19%. This is where things fall off dramatically for most women. I can say that, most women, because most women are now left-leaning. Being grounded spiritually, 11%. Being able to retire early, 6%. So they're fine working the rest of their lives. Being married, 6%. Having children, 6%. So men that are conservative or at least right-leaning in this last election, having children is a 34%, or 34% of them say it is valuable to them. Being married, 29%. So that's basically 34% for both. Women, 6% for being married and having children. That gap of 28% is why you're not finding a date. It's why you're not having a girlfriend. It's why you're not being able to find a woman that wants to settle down and get married. It's why you're not able to have children. It is not important to left-leaning women, which again is the majority. Now, oftentimes we say, okay, but what about the conservative women out there? The women that voted for Trump, again, we'll call those conservative women. Financial independence, 40%. Fulfilling job career, 32%. Owning a home, 30%. Being grounded spiritually, 29%. Having money to do the things you want, 27%. Having children, 26%. Having no debt, 23%. Using talents and resources to help others, 22%. Being married, 20%. When you look at these gaps between men and women and what they want, whether it's left-leaning women, whether it's right-leaning women, if you are a conservative man or a traditional man or a red-pilled man or any of these other things, men overwhelmingly want family and children. Women would rather have owning their own home. They'd rather have a fulfilling job and career or financial independence, having money to do the things they want, and then they worry about having children. And then multiple more things before they worry about getting married. If the red pill, conservative, tradcon, right-leaning, whatever you want to call it, men are prioritizing having children as number one and being married as number four, and the left-leaning women put that as dead last, and the conservative women put it well down the list. Having children is not until number 6. Being married is number 9 on the list. This gap is why we're running into repopulation issues, whether that's in South Korea or Japan or Germany or the UK or Australia or the United States, any other modern society that has adopted feminism. The feminism has worked. The brainwashing is working. It is telling women you need to be independent and you need to make your own money and you need to do your own thing and you need to have a fulfilling job and career and friends and get involved in politics. Everything else before family and community. Because let's face it, feminism is directly aimed at women. And the large majority of women, I think it's about 65% vote left now in most polls, 65% of women now put children and family 6% as their importance. That is last. That's almost nothing. Where more traditional men, well, they still put it on family, children, and marriage, and having a home. So these women that are out there saying men are too picky and it's men's fault we can't get married and it's men's fault we're not repopulating and it's men's fault, they're just wrong. At least for Generation Z, which is the next generation that is going to be moving its way up into politics, into our government, into positions of power. They're going to control the leverages of power in universities. And this is directly that problem. So when people reach out and they say, oh, it's actually tradcon or conservative or red pill men that are the ones that are destroying everything, the ones that are ruining society, the ones that are being misogynist or any of these other things, we're not. The data shows we like women. We'd like to have a family with them. We'd like to have kids with them. We can't because they've gone off the reservation and they've fallen off of the deep end. What are women doing instead? Yes, we know they're out there filming themselves on TikTok, the day in the life of boss bee girl at work, basically doing no work, getting paid $100,000 to eat smoothies and get fat. We know that's happening. But something else that I noticed that's happening is the activism. Here's a good example of what women are doing instead. This is the Broadview ICE facility. And at very early in the morning, 3, 4, 5 a.m., before the sun is up, they're transporting ICE or basically illegal immigrants to processing facilities to deport them. And you notice here, I can play a little bit of the audio on this, but right here you've got a woman sitting with a bullhorn, and you've got a woman here in the blonde hair that is standing in front of a camera. You have a woman down here nice and low, squatting in front of the van, taking pictures and yelling through a microphone. And mostly what you see, here's another woman with a, what do they call it? The keffiyeh, or whatever the Free Palestine headgear is. Another woman comes into frame with a hat on, taking pictures. What I noticed in here is, yes, there are men here too. I'm not trying to say that. But 60 to 70% of the people that are blocking this van, that are getting in the way, that are protesting, are women. When we look at the very next scene where ICE agents have to spray chemicals and moving protesters aside, you notice masked women. I have to mute this because there's music. Masked women and effeminate men. That's basically who's here. Masked women and skinny, effeminate men. You notice this isn't an American flag. This is the rainbow flag with some other, I don't know, country's flag in the middle. This takes money. How do you have money to make custom one-off flags? Here's another instance. This is at the back door of the facility. And they ended up having to fire pepper spray at them. 1 female, 2 female, 3 female, 4 female, 5 female, 6 females, 2 men. 6 females, 2 men. That's out of 8 people. What is that? 80% are women. 80% are trying to fight their way into this facility. From the Tennessee Holler, which is a left-leaning organization, same thing. I will put the volume up a little bit on this one. They physically have to remove women in front of these vehicles, stopping them from deporting the men that are raping the women and overwhelmingly do crime against women. Now, this woman that you see right here, this is a congressional candidate. This is someone that is running for Congress. Now, whether that's at the state level, state Congress, or federal, I don't know. But you can see they would not get out of the way. They were in the face of this vehicle, and they were in the face of this ICE. And I want you to see how one agent, one-handed, body slams this woman to the ground. Bonk. But if an officer can literally take a frail little woman and pick her up and put her on her ass with his left hand, his non-dominant hand, you're only allowed to protest and get away with all of this because you're being allowed to. I know that's going to make a lot of women upset, but it is the truth. And he's unceremoniously dumps her on the ground. Same thing with another group of people. Same facility. And what do you notice at the front lines here? I'm going to mute this. This is what they're doing all day. Now, again, I'm not saying that there's not guys there. There's a lot of effeminate they, thems there that are getting in the faces. But it's women leading the charge. Same thing here. An overweight woman in a flower dress is unceremonious. She tries to get in the face because, again, they don't fear repercussions for their actions. And she's unceremoniously dumped on the ground and arrested. This looks to be a woman in her late 40s or 50s. This has music. I'll mute it. They fire a pepper bullet at her feet, and she says, nope, I'm going to fight back against 8 men. And so she just gets yeeted onto the ground. They don't arrest her. They don't do anything more. They just toss her to the ground. And then she decides to get back up and decides to fight them in just a moment. Now, of course, all the little boys are there to pat her and tell her she's doing a good job. All the beta male. It's, you know what it reminds me of? When there's a fish that's 40 pounds and it's female, and you have 8 4-pound males swimming around hoping they can be the one to mate with the gigantic female. That's what these men remind me of. And she gets right back up and goes right back over into the faces of the officers. They push her away again. And then it's time for the yeet, and she ends up getting arrested. And I think they show it here momentarily. At some point, they cuff her and carry her off. You were given an opportunity. You were given a shot. Couldn't control herself. She has no man. She has no family. She has likely no job. She's probably a paid agitator. And this is what she's decided to do with her life. Same thing here. These are some of the arrests. that were done in New York City, a different area, a different event, Federal Plaza in New York City for obstructing ICE. Most of the people there were white females. The police, ironically, were minorities. So this whole, well, we have to listen to minorities. Well, I guess not so much. What do we have? Female, female, the one in the blue, the teal behind this one you can't see. Female, 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 a bald male. So what is that? 5-1, 6-1 female? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 females, 1 male so far. That's a cop. That's a female cop. Another female beyond that. Then you've got a pasty bald white male. Nothing against pasty bald white males. I am one. Another woman. And then a couple more guys. What you're noticing is that men care about family. Men care about job. Men care about success. They care about being stable. They would like to have children. And of course, the left-leaning women, they want nothing to do with that. So what is their new cause? Making money and fighting the government or supporting the government, depending on who's in place, becoming activists. So guys, when you're saying, I can't find a woman to date, I can't find a woman to sleep with, I can't find a woman to get married, I can't find a woman to maybe have kids with someday, it's not you. It's just not. The numbers are in, it is the women. The women don't want anything to do with men. They don't want anything to do with family. They don't want anything to do with children. They care about politics. They care about money. That's all they care about. The state and politics and protesting, you're just last.